I belong to you, although we go to the end of the road. Okay, go. It's unnatural. Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's having a great evening. Hope y'all are doing great. I know there's only like one person in here, but I'm gonna just go ahead and get to talking. I hope y'all can hear me. I don't know if everyone can hear me. That's the only thing is I do not know if everyone can hear me. But let me know if you can. Because if you can, then we'll be good to go. If not, I'm gonna have to figure something out. Um, Let me know if you can hear me. Hi, everybody. Hi. I got some curtain action happening here today. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a great evening so far. Hope things are going well for you. So, y'all know I like going live on Saturdays just so we can kind of chat it up, discuss some Charmed, talk about us some Charmed. I really don't have like anything in particular I want to talk about. So if anyone else has any like Charmed related conversations you want to have or anything like that, let me know. Just tell me something you want to talk about and we can talk about it. We can go from there. Hey, hello friend. How are you? We're just chill right now. There's nothing really happening cuz like I don't know what to talk about yet. Like I had thought about when I do these Charmed like lives talking about like specific things and whatnot. Thank you, Faith. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I had talked about maybe like having a specific topic, like talk about like season 1 or season 2 or whatever. But I don't know. What would y'all think about that? Like, do y'all think that would be a good idea? If not, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet because I want to do that. I really want to try at least once to just have like a live dedicated specifically to a certain season. Oh baby, we only discussed the OG Charmed here. I may bring up the reboot every now and again to like as comparison, but it's not what I talk about. I don't talk about the reboot like that. But let's go back. Can we talk about the time traveling plot holes? Okay. Time travel was weird in the show because I feel like, but then I feel like it wasn't at the same time. And I'm gonna tell y'all kind of what the first thing that comes to mind is. So in that 70s episode, we went back in time and we, first off, the fact that Phoebe was just able to do a spell to, well, I say Phoebe, I'm gonna say all three of them, but it was kind of just Phoebe, was able to say this spell and it sent them back in time like almost 30 years. And I was like, what kind of powerful magic is this? Because that's a pretty I'm sorry, but that's a pretty powerful spell. And I'm gonna circle back to that in just a minute. So, that's very powerful magic. Tempest, who could control time, was very clearly like top of the food chain demon. Like, he was very clearly a high level demon. And then after that, it just got a little wonky. Like, after that, it felt like we could just kind of do whatever we wanted to do, whenever we wanted to do it, however we wanted to do it. Like, Graham's like having her boots and earrings and stuff like that enchanted to bring it back to her, because she would take her clothes off a lot. It's cute. I get it. It was a nice little gimmick. You're telling me that Grams is a powerful witch. Don't get me wrong. But you're telling me that Grams was able to cast a spell on her own items that could pull people back 30, 40, however many years. Okay, so it was like 2003, 4 when that happened, 2003 or 4. And so it took them back to like 19, I think it was like 67 or something like that. Y'all, I'm not good at math. But isn't it like almost 40 years? Like, that's almost 40 years. It's not a full 40, but it's like 30 something. Like 34, 35. Like, the fact that Grams was able to do, y'all, please don't laugh at me. I'm not good at math. I promise you I'm not. But the fact that Grams was able to enchant items that could pull people back almost 40 years in time, what kind of sense does that make? Like, what? I don't know. Because then I started thinking, like, of course she was a powerful witch, so of course she could do it. But it's like, why is she just randomly that powerful? But then in season 8, Piper has to use Coop's ring to okay, let me circle back. Because the intended use was to take, her to Phoebe and whatever else and help her find whatever. But the fact that it took Piper back like 30 years and then it flash forwarded her like 40 years, like what? Like, why do we have magical items? But then that kind of makes sense. No, it doesn't. Because I was going to say it kind of makes sense because it was a Cupid's ring. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of examples off the top of my head. And so I'm getting like, you know how it is when everything just starts coming in at one time. And then remember the avatars. Okay, so the avatars, Cole, when he became an avatar, now it's two different situations. And y'all know where I'm going with this. When Cole was an avatar, he was powerful enough on his own as a newly created avatar to completely rewrite history. Completely rewrite it. Like, completely rewrite the universe they were in. Make it where Prue died and Paige died and was never found by her sisters and all of that. I mess with that because the avatars were very powerful. They lose one person. They lose one person and they're like, I'm sorry, we can only go back like 3 hours. Like, are you serious? Like, are you for real? Like, their collective could not, I guess it was, but their collective was so weakened by one person dying that they couldn't even go back past like a day. But Cole, well, and this is where I was coming at earlier when I was like, okay, well, it was 2 different situations. Cole had access to like the full power available. Like when he was an Avatar for that brief window of time, he had access to like the full unadulterated Avatar experience. Leo, when he had access to the full unadulterated Avatar experience, could bring the sisters, he brought the sisters back from the dead. Like he brought them back to life. So clearly their collective is powerful. But you're telling me one person weakened them to the point where they couldn't even turn back time like a couple of days? Like they were like, sorry baby, but we ain't gonna be able to bring Brody back. It's above me now. What? And then the fact that like there's sometimes where I didn't know if they needed the power 3. I think they just used it because, you know, like especially like in the earlier seasons, they, you know. So when Prue cast that spell to make time go forward, she did that, and I was like, why is that even a spell in the book? Why is there a spell to make time go forward like a day? That's what purpose did that spell like serve when it was written? That was what I wanted to know. Like when it was written, what was the point of the spell? And so I was like, okay, so we turn in time forward a day. Why didn't, because we all know Prue loved to rewrite a spell. I just thought about that. Prue loved to rewrite a spell. Why didn't she just rewrite it to go backward in time in All Hell Breaks Loose? So, I don't know. But then, would that have taken the power 3? Because when they went back in time, Phoebe was the one who said it by herself. So, I kind of just assumed, like, because they were all together, it was still technically the power 3. But when they went forward in time in season 2, all 3 of them said it, but I think that was because all 3 of them were trying to go forward, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know that it needed the power of 3. And then Chris was just moving backwards and forwards in time as he pleased. He was coming back. He was going forward. No. Let me take that back. He did not go forward by himself. When Bianca came back, Bianca created that portal and took him back. That was not him. I had to think about that. That wasn't him. And then when he tried to go forward in time, in the end, the sister still had to do it. Okay. Pop. Okay. Had to think about that. I'm glad I said that out loud so I didn't look stupid. But still, the fact that he was able to turn back time by himself. If I could turn back down. But anyway, y'all remember that? But it's like, why was Chris just able to randomly go back and Chris tried to go forward but landed in Jurassic Park? Sure did. I have a question. Vanquishing spells / potions. How do they know those worked if the demon still exists? So, okay, wait. Let me roll back. How do they know those worked if the demons still exist? So are you saying, like, how did they know the spell would work since no one had ever used it on them? Is that what you're saying? Just so I can kind of make sure. But while I'm waiting on that answer, I will say I had completely forgotten about like the time wall. And then when Phoebe was trying to save Miles, and there was a little time wall thing that Baraka or whatever his name was. I know it wasn't Baraka, but or was it Baraka? Bakar? What was his name? The one that Cole sent back in time to stop Phoebe from saving Miles. Was it Bakar? Because Baraka is the character from Mortal Kombat, I think. Because whenever what's her name says it, she says, "Hello, Baraka." And I hate that woman. The bug lady, whatever her name is. Hello, Baraka. But anyway, yeah, Bakara. Bakara, first and foremost, are we ever going to talk about the fact that he was only from 6 months in the future at that point, and apparently magic was so advanced that he could just like counteract Piper's powers? He was up here stealing the book. Anyway, too much. Thank you. Thank you for the roses. Oh my God. Thank you for the roses, child. Thank you. Thank you, Nico Bear 13. I appreciate you. But yeah, so okay, so back to this because I do want to get back to these the little Latin or whatever he was using got on my nerves. Lord Jesus, I thought you were talking about Tu Wong Fu, and I thought you was gonna say the little Latin boy in dress. And I was gonna say, no, wait a minute. Come on, Noxema, come on. He said blah blah blah. Okay. Okay. We're gonna come back to the glamoring. We are going to circle back to the glamoring because I really want to talk about what the other person asked about, like the vanquishing spells, because in my mind I always kind of felt like they never knew that the spells were gonna work in their mind, like the ancestors' minds. I feel like they genuinely were just like, I don't feel like doing this. And so they just put a spell in the Book of Shadows and was like, if it works for them, it works. If it doesn't, they'll be the charmed ones. I don't know what to tell you. Because how did they know a spell was the power of 3? Okay, I feel like that's easier to explain than I'm making it. Because I feel like they probably could have written a spell, tried to use it, and realized like, oh, it's going to take more power to say it. Kind of like how when Phoebe tried to vanquish Shax and she couldn't do it by herself. And that's when they realized that it had 2 whatchamacallits. So I kind of feel like it makes sense in that regard. But I still feel like, I just genuinely feel like the Warren witches were like, they'll figure it out. They're the charmed ones. They got the power 3. If it work, it work. If it don't, I mean, the power 3 will set you free. Have at it. Have fun. I don't know what else to tell you. They said, I feel like it was Astrid. I don't know why, but I feel like it was Astrid. Astrid is the one that did it. Hey, friend. Hey, Ninjetti P. My friend is in, y'all. Let me see. What was I finna? Okay, so as far as astral projection and glamoring, now this is not y'all. Let me say this: everything I'm saying is completely my opinion and my little narrow-minded view of the show. Y'all know I'm not smart. Y'all know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So this is just me kind of putting 2 and 2 together with what I have and going from there. What confused me about astral projection and glamoring was glamoring. I can understand being a white light of power. I think they said at one point it was a white light of power. I don't know. I remember specifically that it was a warlock power, that like some demons could glamour and whatnot. I remember that. So, and then Paige could do it in season 5. Okay. She apparently developed the ability completely off screen. That's fine. Whatever. So then in season 6, this was where it starts getting shaky for me, right? This is where I started being like, McSqueeze me? Okay, so season 6, when Phoebe turns back into a teenager, first off, let's just talk about the fact that teenage Phoebe was writing spells and did not realize she was writing spells. That's neither here nor there. Cause she was like, make me remember who I was, something like that. And I was like, girl, what? Why are you structuring poems like that? And then as an adult, how could you see that and be like, oh, this old poem I wrote, baby, it's a spell. You can even, I would think reading it, she'd be like, oh, this sounds a little spellish. But anyway. So, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I be getting close to the camera. What was I saying? So, okay, teenage Phoebe. So then teenage Phoebe starts using magic, right? And I'm like, oh, this is cute. And, Paige didn't astral project. Not of her own accord. Those who mock who I am, let them always remember when. I think that was it. It seemed like there's something missing, but I don't know. But anyway. And so, teenage Phoebe cast a spell on everybody and whatnot. I was like, okay, come on, power. That was a cute spell. And then somehow she could glamour herself and other people with the wave of a hand. And I remember because I was like, I think I was like 12 or 13, and I remember specifically being like, wait, why can teenage Phoebe glamour people and herself? Like, because of what? Here's the thing: is if it was a spell, I understand Phoebe is quick on her feet. I understand that, but you're telling me that teenage Phoebe, was quick enough on her feet to where she not only would accept magic, but also know how to use it that well, that quickly? Kim Fields, come on now, and then season after that, everybody was glamoring. At that point, it didn't even matter no more. Like, glamoring was just something everybody could do. Wyatt could glamour, probably. Chris could glamour. Victor probably could have figured out how to glamour in season 7, honestly. If we're just being 100% honest with you. Not the wig, Jesus. Because nobody can make me, nobody can tell me that Prue's wig from season 2, when she turned into teenage Prue, is not the same wig that they put on Paige in season 4 in A Page from the Past. Like, I genuinely feel like it was the same wig. I feel like they just took it. They didn't even, like, shake it a little bit. They didn't even, like, comb it out. They just put it on her head. They were like, here. And she was like, what is this? And they were like, the wig. And she's like, I'm not wearing that. It still smells like 1999. And they were like, you gonna put this wig on? We know that, honey. You gonna put this wig on and you gonna like it. And my girl was like, I'm not doing that. No ma'am. They said, no ma'am. No ma'am. And then when it came to teenage Phoebe, they said, you gonna put this wig right on. And they said, I know Alyssa was like, I know that ain't the same wig that y'all put Shannon down in. And then brought her back up. And they were like, Alyssa, put the wig on. And she put it, I feel like she had it in her contract that she would never wear that wig again. Like, after they made her wear that wig, that episode, I feel like she put it in her contract. She was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. That Piper, baby, listen, Piper said, I'm not putting on too many wigs. Y'all might get 1 or 2 out of me over the course of the show, but we're not finna go crazy. Did she wear it? Did Holly wear any wigs over the course of the show? And I know somebody's gonna probably point one out specifically, but I can't think of a time. I can't think of a time when Holly wore a wig. I feel like Holly was like, look, I'm growing this out, okay? She said, listen, I don't know what to tell you. For Glenda and the one that went to the past life. Was that a wig in her past life, though? I think that was her hair. The Titan episode, I know for sure that was her hair. I know for sure in the Titan episode that was all her hair. Like, because Holly has beautiful hair. Like, her hair is gorgeous. It's so thick and fluffy. When they went to the past, I don't remember them ever. I don't remember her ever. Like, in the past, I know they had that god-awful wig on Shannon. I feel like that's the real Shannon. That's the real reason Shannon left. I feel like that wig from season 2 was Shannon's breaking point. I feel like she was like, I'm not doing this. She said, no, I'm not. She said, I'm not doing this. Like, as soon as they put that wig on her, she was like, the show is only gonna go down from here because y'all are tripping. Because the wig was horrible. The wig was horrible. I don't actually remember. There was no budget for wigs. The only Joel Humphrey. There was no budget for wigs. They literally probably just went down to, like, I don't know. I was going to say Santee Alley, but I don't think it's close for some reason. They probably went down somewhere where they were like, look, can we just get, like, a bag of wigs? And they were like, here you go. And it was just the same one. The wig Billy had on at the start of season 8. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Oh my God. Oh my sweet merciful Jesus, yes. That was horrible. Billy's wig was horrible. Alyssa really got stuck with the most wigs. She did. And yeah, I know people be living for that hair that Shannon had on, that Prue had when they went to the future. But that dry mess, no ma'am. When Prue walked up and Piper was like, "You're blonde," and I was like, and dry. I was like, the hair looked like if like when she touched it and she was like, yeah, and she did like that and she flipped it up. I was like, oh my God, you're gonna break it. Like I was really like, oh my God, you are really about to break your hair if you do that again. It was horrible. Like it was like straw, y'all. It was horrible. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It looked a mess. And then Alyssa's looked just as bad. I would have liked to see what Alyssa's wig in that episode looked like dry. Because they had it like oily and stringy and nasty looking. And I would love to know what it looked like, clean and done and alive. Not Miss Fortune 500 didn't have Miss Fortune 500 hair. Child, because I was like, when she was like, well, I kind of woke up there. I was like, you woke up at your job, darling? Okay, all right. Child, now they wanted it to catch fire easy because she was about to be goodbye. Because I really feel like that's what it was. I feel like they doused it in like some kind of oil or something, in like some oil or like some kind of something that was flammable. Now that you done said that, yeah, it was something flammable. We said light that puppy up, baby. They said when she goes up, it's up. Okay. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Baby, when Prudence unalived that woman and then went in her closet and started stealing all her clothes and wigs, I said, okay. I said, okay. Prudence with that woman. Prudence with that woman. Prudence with the... Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just thought about that. Prue really unalived this woman and then took all of her clothes, like went in her closet and was like, oh, these are such nice things. Girl. This woman is on ice because of you. And using, girl, okay, anyway. Baby Prue had that bloodlust. Do you hear me? Prudence had a bloodlust that could not be filled. Child, that tickled me. Then use it for personal gain to win a competition. Okay? Prue said, see, okay, this is where, y'all know I'm a Prue stan. I'm a Prue and Paige stan. I stan those two characters. But baby, the way Prudence was doing personal gain and we were just supposed to move on past it, no ma'am. No ma'am. She done unalived this woman. And then was like, it was so funny because when she was talking to Phoebe, and Phoebe was like, it's not your fault, whatever. And she was like, that's the first time we've ever been, what did she say? The first time we've ever been attacked by a human? Or somebody said it's the first time something, and Prue was like, yeah, and it's the first time they killed a human. And I was like, is it? I was like, is it? Are we just gonna forget about Mr. Dream Sorcerer guy? We just gonna let that go? That didn't count? Okay. And baby, the fact that Prudence said, listen, I don't know what to tell you, but then Paige sitting up here having to go save leprechauns because she's trying to get a stain out her shirt. And then meanwhile, Prue sitting up here selling auctions and all this and that. Girl, get away from me. I'm like, girl, anyway. And Prue kept the car on the Genie episode. Baby, Prudence kept a lot of that stuff. Prudence kept a lot. Prue was probably sitting up there casting all kinds of magics at night when everybody else was asleep. That's why she was late to sleep. The last one to sleep and the first one to get up. She was trying to hide all that magic she has used for herself. I said, okay, honey. All right. Oh, okay, good. Lord Jesus, have mercy. So y'all, okay. So let me tell y'all something else. So the reason I be laying down, y'all know I be laying down when I be doing this. It's cute because it's informal, but I'm gonna just share this with y'all. I don't know why I want to share this with y'all, but y'all know I got arthritis real bad, and so like I be laying down sometimes because it's like the pain when I try to like stay up for so long. It's just like I'm just gonna go ahead and lay down, and y'all will be all right. Y'all, we cool. We here. If y'all laugh at me because I'm laying down, and the only reason I brought that up is because I remember one time somebody was like, "Oh, we in bed, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, we in bed," because your boy be in pain, because I be hurting a lot. And so anyway, so yeah, I just want to share that with y'all, so y'all don't judge me. So that way, if y'all stay with me, y'all know why. Y'all know why we be laying down. It be so informal. Because like right now, my neck is hurting real bad and it's hot. And then my hips are hurting real bad today. So I be in pain pretty much 24/7. Or at least when I'm awake. The whole time I'm awake. So that's why I be laying down. I hope y'all accept me. I hope y'all love me. I'm still mad Paige stopped being a social worker. What was that budget cut? Listen. Ooh, yes. Okay, we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to my Paigiana. Because didn't the sword dude from season 1 get disgraced because Brianna threw it back? Not threw it back, baby. Threw it back. Honey, let me tell you something. First and foremost, the fact that I know, y'all remember the shade they threw? I wish I had my book here because I have a copy of the book, but I have it in my storage unit and I left it there after I moved. Do y'all remember in the book it said like Brianna with the lines of wisdom on her face, or her face lined with wisdom or something like that? And I was like, why did y'all have to bring up the fact this woman is old? Like, what did her being old have to do with anything? Like, we didn't know if Brianna was young, old. We didn't know if she was whatever she was. But y'all went out of y'all's way to be like, nah, she was an old lady. She was an old lady. And she got him right on up out of here. They say, yes, ma'am. They say, yes, ma'am. That old lady got that demon right on up. She said with one sword. And then the picture, I love the picture that they used with Brianna. When she was like, I said, no, who? I said, yes, ma'am. Miss Brianna said, I'm going to get you on up out of here, honey. Miss Brianna said, you got to go. It reminded me of like Little Prue. And like, cause y'all remember Little Prue was like a really, y'all remember Little Prue was like super confident. And when they were like, okay, y'all, what are we gonna do when we see a bad guy? And Little Piper was like, I'm gonna freeze him. And then Little Prue was like, and I'm going to move him. I said, yes, ma'am. She didn't just say move him. She said, and I'm going to move him. I said, from a young age. From a young age. Do you understand me? No, I love making fun of the fact that Brianna wasn't in the spell. Because I feel like Helena probably ain't really nobody. I feel like Helena probably just like some random person that was in the book. Like one time they saw the name Helena and they were like, yeah, this fits. And Brianna was probably like, Helena, the squib. Helena ain't even got no powers, and y'all call it Helena. I feel like if they ever tried to call him Brianna, Brianna would be like, Brianna would be like, don't talk to me. I feel like Brianna would be like, don't fool with me like that. And maybe it was to maybe it was to explain the strength of her power. That is true. To say, like, she was at a point in her life where she was powerful enough to do that. Okay, that makes sense. Duh. Okay, I don't even know how I didn't put two and two together. You are 100% right. Imagine young Piper with her combustion power, though. And she'd be like, I'm gonna boil him up. Girl, shut up. If she running around talking about, I boil him up, girl, don't you say nothing. Be like, you don't shut up. Yeah, I called her black. I said, you don't shut up, black person. Just imagine her running in the Grams and be like, Grams, I blew up the demon. And Grams just looking at her like, oh my God. we are in Kmart trying to get milk. And you are telling me about how you blew up a demon. Okay. No more Scooby-Doo for the next 3 months. Because now I got to erase all these people's memories in this store. Okay. All right. Because now you playing on my top. Because now they're going to try to go back and they're going to try to double charge me for these groceries. And you know we only got enough food stamps for one time. Because you know Grams was getting food stamps. Grams was an unemployed woman in the 70s raising 3 children by herself. Grams got food stamps. And I don't know why I'm going down that hill. But I absolutely am. I know Grams got them books back in the day. Them little books that would have, we don't want your book. Okay, so let me tell y'all why I just said that. Oh my God, what was I finna say? Oh yeah. So y'all remember in Bride and Gloom when Cole was talking to Evil Phoebe, and he was like, she wants your book. We all want your book. I don't know why that was so funny to me when he was like, we all want your book. I was like, not your book. What is your book? And the way he said it, I was like, ew. Because that's when Phoebe started like beating this man and was like, I want Balthazar. And yeah, Piper later on comes and she's like, I heard voices. Well, yeah, honey, you heard screaming. You heard 2 people, and you heard one of whom started screaming. You didn't just hear, girl. And then Piper was evil, and she was still knocking on the door. Okay, Kim Fields. And I don't know who got this question started, but if you don't think that Grams was marrying them men for their money, I don't know what to tell you. Because it ain't no way Penelope loved all them men. Penelope didn't even respect men. I'm telling you, Penelope married them men so she could go on ahead and get some shmoney. Okay? Penelope said, honey, listen, I'm trying to go ahead and get this bag. I got these girls to take care of. I don't get my stamps until the first of the month. I need some shmoney. Grams got that alimony or possibly life insurance from those husbands. You know she did. And then she lived in a house that was constantly getting attacked by demons too. I guarantee you, when Graham started courting a man or a man started courting her, she got a life insurance policy on him. Like that minute. Long before they ever got married, I feel like she would go ahead and get a life insurance policy because she's like, no ma'am. No ma'am. I need that money in my hand. Tangible. She needs something she can use, something she can feel. Ooh. Let's see. You're gonna leave my Krista Allen alone because she was like the grand design. Baby, she said, listen, I'm here to act, honey. She said, I'm here to act. And I'm here to give y'all a little shum. Come on, Liam the Witch. Who is Liam the Witch is the one who said that. Oh, okay. Oh. She knew them demons and warlocks would come in clutch per. She said, it's time for me to get another check real quick. She was Mabel Simmons before Mabel Simmons ever existed. Liam the Witch, author of Children's Intro to, I don't know how to say that word. And I feel stupid that I don't know how to say that word because I feel like I should know how to say it. And Wheel of the Year series, available on Amazon. So y'all go buy his, or there. I'm sorry, I don't want to assume. So y'all go buy Liam the Witch's series. Honey, I love plugging people. I love it. Because I know I don't have a whole bunch of people, but I love plugging folks. Because I just feel like, why not? Imbolc. Oh, that's how you say it, Imbolc. Okay. I've never seen that word before. It's interesting. That is so interesting. I just found out you can get policy on anyone. Graham's death set them girls up. Yes! I am telling you, there is no way. He, him is my pronouns. Okay, good. Okay, I don't want to, be disrespectful. But, yeah, Grams was definitely taking them men out, baby. I know she was. Ain't no reason that Graham should have had that many husbands. None. And she ain't even like men like that. Oh, no. Graham said, baby, let me go ahead and get this policy real quick. Thank you, the only Joel Humphrey, for the rose. I was like, oh, come on, crown. Come on, Liam the Witch. Thank you for the crown. I appreciate that. I feel like a king. Now I'm really a king. Ooh. Royalty. Hetero. But anyway, sorry. Okay. I have ADHD, y'all. Like, I'm actually diagnosed with ADHD. This is not me just saying that. Like, I genuinely have ADHD. Okay. We were talking about Grams, unaliving her husbands, and that. Was there something else we were talking about, y'all? Because I feel like it was. I feel like that was a branch of something else. I feel like we were talking about, like... Yo, what were we talking about? Somebody tell me, because... Y'all, I don't remember. Oh, my God. I don't know. Anyway, okay, we'll move on. Next topic. No capes. But yeah, anyway. Some of the magic on this show just was... I was talking to one of my friends earlier, and we were talking about how, like, Charmed would do really well with a prequel series, like an actual prequel series, and not the Warrens thing that's on Amazon Prime. Okay. As excited as I was when I saw that concept of, like, the Warrens and, like, the prequel with the cousins and whatever, because it's a very well made trailer. Like, whoever did it, they did an amazing job with the trailer. They did an amazing job with, like, every single aspect of it. There's only one part that I hate and detest, and I use the word hate because I can't stand it. I hate when that lady goes, after all, we are the Warrens. Ma'am, I like, it boils my blood when that lady is like, we are the Warren. Okay. That just feels like a really cheap version of when Phoebe was like, we're known as the Charmed Ones. That was cute. That was adorable. But that we're known as the Warrens, get away, or we are the Warrens, ma'am, get away. Just go. Get out. Leave me alone. So, yeah. So the point of why I brought that up was I would love to see, like, a prequel series of the other Warren witches, because I think they had, like, a book. There was a book. That's what I was talking about, was Cole and him saying book. But anyway, and it was called the Warrens or something like that, or the Warren Witches or something like that, and it was like a prequel, and I was like, and I've never read it, and I need to read it because I would love to see, like, what was in it, because I just feel like the Warren line was full of so much, like, so many interesting people and characters and witches and powers, because they couldn't all had the essential 3 powers. Like, they could not have all had, Melinda's powers. Because look at Phoebe's past life. Look at, Prue's past life. I mean, I've always been on the fence about Piper's past life because people think you Collins the Vampire Slayer. Thank you, friend. But people always say that y'all, I don't know what I was saying. People always say that past Piper's power was deceleration instead of her like stopping time, like completely, whatever. But I always just kind of felt like the Anton fought through it. But I'm going to go ahead and say that it is in fact deceleration and not just full on temporal temporal stasis. Y'all, what is wrong with me tonight? I cannot think. I cannot think. This manic energy is what we love. I wasn't ever a huge fan of Cole. I'm saying Coop and Phoebe's love story was so rushed. Coop and Phoebe didn't have a love story. They just kind of like threw them together and said, here you go. Is Paige the only one that didn't show a giant display of power? Yes. Paige is the only, from my recollection, let me say, I guess if you don't count when she first got her powers and she broke the mirror and whatnot, and then when she was, under the source's influence and she was evil, and she broke the mirror, and then she called for that man's heart, I feel like that could be like a grand display. We could call it that. I'm not saying that's not what it was, but we could call it that. I swear Anton fought through that. Like Anton and Collins the Vampire Slayer. Friend, don't tell me to put the bottle down because I wish I had a bottle, but this is just me being completely, apparently, out of it. She was just slowing down molecular deceleration for sure. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Paige had so many powers. Paige was OP. I don't know that Paige was OP. I feel like Wyatt was OP. Chris, I feel like I would consider OP to a certain extent. Not really. No, Wyatt is the only one that's OP. To me, Paige just had like a bunch of white lighter abilities and then telekinesis thrown in the mix. Like I don't feel like, I don't know. I think Phoebe had the best powers. Listen, if you know me, you know that here recently I have been on a Phoebe kick. I have been on a Phoebe kick because like I genuinely feel like Phoebe's powers is her power set is my absolute favorite power set because the way my girl cut up most of the time, like I'm not gonna go back over that because then I'm gonna just be going back down the list again. But my girl was doing so much with that power. She was seeing through time loops. She was connected with succubi. She was, oh gosh, she was seeing through dimensions, connecting with ghosts, all this and that. Just did Grams practice all three powers? No, baby. No, Grams didn't practice all three powers. Grams didn't even practice more than one. The only reason Patty had premonitions was because she, was pregnant with Phoebe. And then I would assume she had Paige's powers. Not Paige, Prue's powers. When she was pregnant with her. That's me making an assumption. But that's just an assumption. Not adult Wyatt definitely uses Excalibur to pick up tops. No, wait a minute. Now, why tops? No, wait a minute. Not you telling me adult Wyatt is not a top. He would at least be verse. Adult Wyatt would at least, evil adult Wyatt would be verse. Because I feel like he want to get the best of both worlds. I feel like he would be the one, he wants to like feel the pain, but he also wants to like give the pain. So it's like, ugh. But then he'd be like, ah. Like he wants to be like he wants to be. No, Chris gave me very much like she was able to channel everyone's power. What you mean she was able? She cast a spell that froze them, but she didn't freeze people. And as far as we know, she wasn't doing nothing to see into the future. But that's mean. That's mean. Good adult Wyatt is definitely a bottom. Definitely a bottom. Let me see. Because I really feel like y'all playing in that man's face. With Paige power to orb people away, she could have easily been orbing evil into volcanoes. You know what? Good adult Wyatt gives soft top. I could see that. I'm not 100% sure on what a soft top is, but I can see it. See, okay. And we were talking about this the other day. Chris Michael 313. Adult Chris. I don't know that adult Chris could use telekinetic orbing, but evil adult Chris could, because he called for Daryl's gun very dramatically when he was like, gun, and then he came to him and I was like, simmer down there, Brody. Bring it back. Bring it back a couple notches. But so I don't know if good Chris had access to both powers. I don't know. I would be very interested to know though, and why it was that he had access to both. That evil adult Wyatt stole Phoebe's husband. Bye. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I did have a crush on Chris as a kid. I did. I loved me some Chris. Loved me some Chris. Oh, God. His lips, like, that man's lips are beautiful. Have you ever just looked at him? They're so plump and just, oh, Lord. I forgot I'm hetero. So I can't be thinking about all this. I can't be saying all this. I can't be doing all of this. I'm sorry. Y'all done caught me in a bad time. I had a little slip. I am delivered. Wyatt can thought project better than Chris. I don't think Chris has the power of projection. I don't think. I think telekinesis was Chris's witch power. Or did somebody answer that already? I don't know if they did. Oh, yeah. We also never met a version of Grams that knew they were the charmed ones until she was dead. Technically. Okay, let me address that, because I see what you're saying. Here's the thing that confused me about that. Is Grams acted like when she came back from the 80s, like she was so confused that the girls were the charmed ones. So what I was confused about was, did she think that Nicholas was never going to be vanquished? Had she planned to strip their powers at that point? And she was like, oh my God, y'all are the charmed ones? Because it kind of makes no sense, because all she did was bind their powers. So she knew they were going to get them at some point. So it's like, I couldn't figure out why she was acting so, like, out of sorts. I don't know. It was very strange to me, because I feel like they kind of, like, retconned a little bit what happened. Because when she was talking to Piper, she was like, you've got gifts. Such wonderful gifts. And I was like, why are we acting like this is just something she has to grow into and she'll get the magic one day? You bound her powers. Like, they're going to get the powers unless you strip them. So what are we doing? I don't know. I just feel like the show wanted to make the moment more special. And it was already a special moment. I mean, because we've never gotten to see, like, the younger version of the kids interact with Grams outside of, Little Prue and Piper. And so even then, they really weren't, like, interacting with her. So it was like, I don't know. They only got them back because she died. She wasn't gonna let them keep them. So she wasn't gonna let them keep them as adults. She had made up her mind when they were adults that she was gonna strip them. But I kind of assumed that the plan when they were kids was always that they were gonna get their powers back. To me, that was what I thought. Was that, you know, when they were kids, the plan was always to have them be witches at some point. But apparently not. Apparently I was mistaken. Because I was like, oh, okay, we just kind of doing whatever we want to do today so we can get that book. Brad Kern pushes on narrative against Constance Burgess' vision. Per. Andy is a white lighter in the comics. See, I don't even want to read the comics now. I didn't know they made Andy a white lighter. It makes perfect sense for Andy to be a white lighter, but at the same time, I want Andy to be, like, up there, living out his best afterlife. You know, if you really think about it, the concept of a white lighter is kind of sad a little bit. Because, like, you spent your entire life doing good. And then you go to heaven because you were a good person. And they're like, hey, how are you? Thanks for doing everything that you did down there. We're going to put you to work. We're going to put you to work. And, like, you have to go help people. You have to help multiple people at one time. You don't get paid for it. And then if a person with an arrow dipped in the right poison comes at you, you gone again. What? Like, are you insane, bro? I don't know. In the Charm comics, Cupids are dead babies. I'm not reading them. I had started reading them. I'm glad I. Same, but one episode showed them before she passed about why they were estranged. Yes, that's when they were adults, and that was when she decided she was gonna bind their powers. Oh, Lord Jesus, have mercy! I didn't know they was doing that with them Cupids, child. Michael DeChant 07, and baby, I'm sorry if I done messed your name up. I'm so sorry, darling. Asks if you did not say if you, which charm power would you want? I would want premonitions. I would want premonitions. Wasn't there a war in the comics over whether or not white lighters should be pacifists? Oh, baby, I don't know. Ooh, that done stressed me out. That scared me. I don't know why. That scared me. I wish I could invite somebody to come on. I don't know. I feel like it would be more interesting listening to somebody else talk other than just me. Because my thoughts are so all over the place. Like, when I tell y'all that for some reason tonight, my mind is like going every which way. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Bust on in here. What you busting? Right now. All right now. Talking about. Let me hush. Let me not say them. Freezing time because I constantly think of the person the game Piper used in bed with Leo. Baby, I'm a hush. I ain't even gonna say nothing about that. Her bangs in season 4 were tragic. They were not her friends for that. I don't even know if y'all talking about Phoebe. I'm just gonna assume you are. But I am going to tell you right now that there was no reason for Alyssa to have gotten her hair cut like that. I don't care if it was the early 2000s. I don't care. I don't care if it was the early 2000s and that's what she whatchamacallit. I could care less. I hated those bangs with a passion. And I honestly think that Alyssa probably should have been put on suspension until they grew back or something. I don't know. That's how horrible they are. I could have done without Phoebe for like a half a season until her hair grew back. That's how bad it was. That's how horrible I thought those bangs were. And I mean that with every square inch of my body, that those bangs were horrible. I would fight Alyssa in the street if I met her over those bangs. Alyssa Milano, what's good? I'm gonna do like Remy Ma when she was trying to like say what's good, Nikki, but she didn't really want to say it out loud, so she was like, what's good, Nikki? Nikki, what's good? I was like, what is, speak up, say it again, because I can't hear you, Remy. Reminisce, speak up, reminisce. I couldn't hear you. I don't know why that was so funny to me. What's good? I was like, huh? Baby, Piper had one hairstyle after season 1 and said, this is it. Let me stop. No, I kind of like the fact that Holly didn't change her hair like that, because I feel like Piper wasn't a character that was gone change her hair like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if Piper was a real person, I feel like her hair would have been consistent like that. Oh, let me follow you. Oh, he's cute. T-Somp the GOAT. What's up? Anyway, Phoebe had the best hairstyles and clothes. Phoebe or Paige? Paige, yeah. Piper's hair was a character all its own. All right, simmer down. Bring it down. Well, hey, T. I don't know how to say your name, darling, and I don't want to mess it up. T-Somp of the GOAT. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say that. So if I say it, I know I said it wrong. So I apologize. But, child, hey, how are you? Anyway, okay, my bad. Let me rein it back in. Oh, Tyler. I'm gonna call you Tyler too, even though we'll probably never interact. Even though we'll probably never interact, and I'm gonna still call you Tyler. I'm gonna say, hey, Tyler. Every now and again when I scroll past you and I see one of your videos, I'm gonna say, hey, Tyler, how are you? How's everything going, Tyler? And then you'll never know I said that. And in my mind, you gonna know, but you don't really know. And I'm sorry, Tyler, if that makes you uncomfortable. And I will stop. So I do apologize about that. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I want everyone to have a good time. When Rose put in those green eye contacts and sounds not when Rose put in those put in her contacts, Jesus. Piper said $250 was for groceries, not a cut and color, okay? And she went right in that kitchen, and she got that Dark and Lovely from the store that she didn't realize who it was actually for, and she put it on their hair, okay? She looked at the box and said, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna give it a try. See what happens. So y'all, let me tell y'all, okay. It annoys me Rose says she never watched Charmed. Baby, listen, Rose said, I did that show. I don't know what it was about. She said, they told me it was about witches. I guess that's what it was about. I was on there for 5 years. I didn't watch that. She said I wasn't allowed to watch that, okay, in my household. She said in my Christian household, I was not allowed to watch the show that I did. I know she didn't say that. But it's just funny because I'm like, what do you mean you didn't watch it? But you know, I think it's common for actors and actresses not to watch stuff that they're in. Do I think that Henry was a better husband than Leo? I'm a better husband than Leo, and I'm not anybody's husband. Leo was horrible. Leo was useless to me. Like, Leo could have not been there, and things probably would have been different. Just saying. Prue really did walk in that bathroom and say, "Nice orbs," and I'm like, Prue, you got something in your mouth right now. Why are you talking about this man's orbs? Nasty. I said, all right. That's what broke up. That's what made you and Pay. What's the girl's name? Phoebe fall out. Come, bring it back. Bring it back. All right now. I love Leo until I watched your page and understood the hate. Because Leo is useless. Like, Leo really is useless. First off, and okay, let me just read the rest of the comments first, and then I'm coming back to why I feel like Leo is useless. Okay. In season 1, it got reduced to a teleporter afterwards. Okay, so here's the thing. The fact that Leo showed up but didn't show out in the first season, these are the charmed ones. They are brand new witches from their perspective. They have no idea what magic is. They have not been trained. They don't know what is coming to them. They don't know anything. And Leo is like, let me pretend to be a handyman. And then I'm gonna fix the fireplace. And then I'm just gonna do magic behind their backs. Why are you guiding them from the shadows? We need the charmed ones who are new witches need their white lighter in front of them. They need to know what is going on. They need to be prepped on what's going to happen, what they need to vanquish, how to use the book, all of that. They need to be prepped on all of that. And instead, the elders were like, we're just going to go ahead and, let you wait. You can wait. You can wait a while. You can wait a while. And I'm like, what? The only reason Phoebe even found out that he was a white lighter was completely because it was an accident. Because she found him doing magic because he was stupid enough to be doing it in the house. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he just leaves. And then when he comes back, it's because he got shot with the arrow. He didn't even make any kind of appearance in the season finale when they going back in time. And then season 2, he's more worried about being Piper's boyfriend than being their white lighter. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought something was going on with my sister. Sorry. I'm like, why are we not doing anything for the charmed ones? Why do they have this lackluster white lighter? And then season 3, he was a little bit more involved, but he still wouldn't tell. Like, how you with Piper, but you're not telling her that they're gonna go forward in time or back in time? At least when they went forward, he was like, they didn't tell me what page it was gonna go to. I was like, that's stupid, but okay, you still could have told her something was coming, but that's neither here nor there. And then in season 3, I've gone back and forth on this because I've always been very confused on whether he knew that they were going to go back in time or not. Because I kind of felt like he knew they were going back in time. But point being, the fact that he was like, I'm coming to warn you about that. Leo, shut up. And then to go through all of that, to do all of that, and then look Piper in her face after she has given birth to their child on the dining room table where they eat their dinner, after for him to look her in her face and say, our love lifted me up so high that this is the highest I could go. So you trying to tell her that because y'all loved each other so much, you now became an elder, one of the people who tried to stop y'all from being together in the first place, as if it's a good thing, and she should just be happy. When she was like, will I see you again? And he was like, I don't know. Like, dump him. Because at that point, I felt like everything that Grams had said was 100% right. I really felt like man wasn't nothing. And okay, so let me tell y'all something. I am one of, like, the biggest romantics that you will ever see. I can't wait to fall in love. I can't wait to find someone that loves me, that I love, that I can share that intense, maybe not intense is not the right word, but that I can share that like deep love with, and that we realize we are the ones that are meant to be together for the rest of our lives. But Leo and the way he did made me genuinely feel like that'll never exist. Because there is no way that you are telling me that y'all have experienced these trials and tribulations to be together. And then you look this woman in the face after she gives birth to your baby that y'all have both waited years for, that you were scared that she was not going to be able to have, and tell her, okay, I'll see you later. McSqueeze me? What? You what? I just... Natalie should have came around the corner and been like, I know you lying to me. If my Nat had come around the corner and been like, there's something wrong with you, I would have been like, okay, I agree. I agree 100%. There is something wrong with him, and they don't need to be together. Like, if I was one of the elders that had tried to keep them apart, and all we had to do was make Leo an elder, I would have been horribly upset. Like, I would have been really, really upset, because I would have been like, we could have done this like 5 years ago, and all this would have been avoided. Everything would have been just fine and dandy. And then how? Okay. I've never had this thought before. Why wouldn't you want the white lighters to have, the charmed ones to have a female white lighter? I don't know. I just feel like that makes the most sense. I really feel like, yeah, if they could revive Sam on and off again, why not Natalie? Purr. And yes, my girl Nat did deserve better. Yes, she did deserve better. Because Natalie, let me tell y'all something about Natalie. Natalie had the girls training, okay? Natalie had the girls up there practicing powers, running drills, just like Prue had her girls running drills. Natalie had them running drills. Natalie had to review their spells. Natalie said, no, ma'am, we're not finna come out here with this off-brand hocus pocus no more. And y'all finna embarrass me? No, ma'am. Natalie said, not while Natalie's name is attached to it. I know that. She said, y'all might embarrass the heavens while Leah Wyatt is your white lighter, but y'all not gonna do it while Natalie is. I can tell you that. I can't tell. When my girl said, I can't tell you what you will be doing, but I'll tell you what you won't. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. When my girl said, but I'll tell you what you want, I said, okay. I said, I said, I can get behind this. I said, I can get behind that. I said, that's it. That's it. I said, if y'all can't fight no demons after this, it's because y'all stupid. It's because you're stupid. Baby, think about the fact that Natalie had Piper. Natalie had Piper doing flips. Okay? She's... She said, look, I know that one can jump up in the air and kick real quick. I know that one with her titties out can fling somebody real quick. She said, but you, Miss Thing, you need to be able to do a little something. And she had Piper doing flips. Piper said... Baby, I was cold. Natalie said, we are getting in there. When she got in Phoebe's face and said, you think you're so big and bad since you vanquished Balthazar, don't you? I said, oh my God. You're only as good as your next vanquish. Read, Miss Natalie. Read. When Prue thought she was being cute real quick, and she said, well, not if I... What did she do? When she threw the thing and she was like, when she threw the thing out of Natalie's hand, I was like, oops. And Natalie, she said, oops, I'm so sorry. And she said, not as sorry as you would be if I just blinked behind you and stabbed you. I was like, oh my God. Natalie was not playing with them. Natalie was not playing with them. Natalie said, I want you to think with your brains, not your glands. Like, are you serious? Like, Natalie read them. Natalie read them in one scene more than Leo ever could over the entire series. And Leo got him some good little zings in. Now I will say that Leo did get him some good zings in, but they were zings. Natalie read them to filth. She didn't even speak to Phoebe when when Phoebe was like, hi, and she was like, mm-hmm. And so y'all, when I tell you, I'm so tickled right now because Natalie was really like, girl, anyway. And then when Leo was like, Natalie is a fellow white lighter, we served in World War II together, my girl looked Leo dead in his face and was like, all your charges need to know is that I'm another white lighter. I said, oh my God. Baby, my girl was not playing. Nat was not playing. She said, I am here to serve a purpose, to do a job. I'm not here to be your friends. I'm not here to eat your moldy strawberries and your nasty pancakes. I am here to... Y'all, I'm tickled. I'm so tickled. Natalie, I never really thought about the fact that Natalie was really reading them people. And then like when Leo could feel that witch being, unalived, and he was like, if only you could feel it. And Natalie was like, I can feel it. I just won't be ruled by it. Oh my God. Like now you calling this man weak? Like, oh my God. Oh Lord Jesus. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm done. Y'all, when I tell you that tickled me to no end. That tickled me to no end. Oh, Lord Jesus. Natalie said, not as sorry as you would be if I just blinked behind you. Okay. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Prue would have lived one more season if they had Natalie, okay? Because the minute that Nat heard that Prue wanted to go in the street behind Shax, she would have been like, no ma'am. She would have said, no ma'am. That might be what your boy let you do, but I'm not doing that. You gonna stay right here till we figure something out? No ma'am. No ma'am. Because Prue was the whole reason Magic got exposed in the first place. No tea, no shade. Oh yeah, when Paige, oh my God, that was so funny when Paige said that. When she was like, aren't I a white lighter? I was like, why are you placing your words like that? Just ask the question. I guess she said, listen, I'm nervous. I don't want to do all of that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. She was like, aren't I a white lighter? So maybe my white lighter half could offset his demon half. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense. That literally doesn't make sense. But they made it make sense. And it worked. And I'll never understand. I will never understand. Oh, Lord Jesus, have mercy. Oh, Lord, have mercy. That done tickle me. No, she never would have. There is no way Natalie would have tried to heal Cole. That would have been a wrap. If Phoebe had been like, Cole is hurt, Natalie would have looked down, seen what that wound was, and said, girl, let's get out of here. She would have said, no, ma'am. She would have grabbed Phoebe by the arm, and they would have gotten out. And she would have said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. We finna go. She would have said, we finna get up out of here. Wait, since it's canon, Paige and Phoebe moved out. Huh? I don't know. I don't know why you. I don't know if that's like in response to something I said or what, but I like the way you look at me. What rooms do y'all think Piper's children lived in? Well, they only had one room and they just revolved it, but they said it was separate rooms because, like, at one point, Piper and Leo had a room, Paige had a room, Phoebe had a room, and Wyatt and Chris had a room. That's 4 different rooms. How now, brown cow, was that possible? There was no way. Like, they literally just started cycling that one room and said, okay, everybody can't go to their room at one time. Leo, I know the layout. Okay. Leo gave them the freedom to make the choices they need to. Leo gave them the choice. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But the point is like, and Natalie had them, she was preparing them. Like, Leo was taking a more passive role, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like Leo took a more passive role in letting them develop, whereas, like, Natalie would have been directly involved in that. Like, I think if thank you, friend, thank you, Kenny Michelson. Hello, Tumescence. We got Tumescence in the building. I really think if Natalie had been their white lighter from like day one, I think they would have all taken from each other. I think Natalie would have taught them to be more cautious and prepared, and then they would have taught her the value of being like flexible and being able to go with the flow and not always rely on the rules. I genuinely think that. I think that had she been their white lighter from that first day, they would have eventually learned from each other. Leo just was a little too passive for me. I don't know. I ain't like it. Leo was just letting them do whatever they want to do, and then he would heal them when they needed it. He was too busy trying to. Let me hush. Let me not say that. Let me not say that about y'all's boy. I know that's y'all's boy. When the elders were attacked, you saw how much they depended on Leo. I'm confused on what's happening right now. Like, are you genuinely trying to, like, defend Leo to me? Because if you are, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Leo is a trash character. I mean, I guess I kind of am. But he's a trash white lighter to me. And, like, him stepping up at the last minute and being the one that the elders, depended on doesn't really change my view of him. Because, like I said, after everything that he'd been through with Piper, that the elders had put them through, he still chose to go be an elder over his family. Like, what sense does that make? Like, after years of being their white lighter, he went and decided, you know what, I'm gonna just be an elder and I'm just gonna have to see you later. Huh? I don't know. Let me hush, child. What do you think Dan was supposed to learn from his past life? I don't know. I kind of feel like we don't know enough about Dan's past life to have, like, I'm going to say I don't have enough about Dan's past life to really have, like, a thought process on that, if that makes sense. I think Leo was really there for all the sisters and guided them in their own specific way. It's interesting. Okay. I'm gonna definitely have to ponder on that one. I'm definitely gonna have to think about that. I just love the discussion. I think Leo guided them and didn't control them. I got you. Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come off like a jerk. So I really I really apologize about that. Like, I'm so sorry. I do that sometimes because I get like so wrapped up, I think, in the conversation, and then sometimes I get caught up in like the way some people respond. Not you, not you, not you. I think the way some people respond has like almost scarred me a little bit. So now I find myself being like defensive when someone says something, because I find myself being like, okay, all right, here we go. But so yeah, so I apologize about that. um I prefer Chris as their white lighter, by the way. To the person that asked me, Chris or Leo, I just realized the manor had a few variations on Mental Institute, a hippie hangout, and demon hangout. Well, it was a demon hangout every other week, so Leo never took being their white lighter seriously. In some way, it was like a trophy for him. Trophy. I could see that. I could see that more like a status symbol. I don't know that he saw it like that, though. I will say that. I don't know. I don't think he took it as seriously as he should have. I do definitely agree with that. Um, but status thing, I don't know. If Leo wasn't with Piper, people wouldn't have liked him as much as they do. Per. Per. I think a show about female empowerment, it would have been if a man was bringing the same energy as Nat. You know what? That's a very good point. And I don't know why I threw myself back like that, but I did. So y'all don't talk about me. But that is so true. If Natalie had been a man, I feel like, because people already hate Natalie, but I feel like if Natalie had been a man, I really feel like people probably would have like boycotted that episode. I feel like nobody would have wanted to watch the episode and would probably want to take it off streaming. Because Natalie was not playing games. And that's why I feel like Natalie should have been their white lighter from the beginning. I feel like they should have had a female white lighter. I feel like their white lighter should have been, I don't know. But then again, maybe having a guide that early, from a storytelling perspective, I can see where it would have been a little bit boring, because it's like, now you got this full perspective on magic, but it just kind of doesn't make sense from like a practical standpoint. Like, if you had told me that they didn't have a guide because the guide that was supposed to be for them was mysteriously killed before, they were awakened as the Charmed Ones, now you got like a little mystery involved, and we get to go through that. And then, whatever, you introduce their guide in season 2 or something. I could have gone with that, but just for them to have a white lighter and he not be there, okay. The werewolf demon episode adds points to that. Oh my sweet merciful God. That werewolf episode was so horrible. I don't even understand what the point of that was. Like no one has ever been able to explain to me what the point of the werewolf episode was. It's stupid. What do you think about the ending of the Charmed reboot at the Hallowell Manor? It was cheap. And when I use the word cheap, what I mean is they waited too late. They waited until the end of season 4, which was the end of the series, and they should have done it in season 2. They should have gone to the manor in either season 1 or 2. Whether the Hallowells were there or not, they should have gone to the manor in season 1 or 2. They should have done that long before. I think it probably would have kept them some viewers, but I think the biggest thing it would have accomplished was just giving them a story. I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole other thought process. I don't know. The moment I wake up. What was your favorite episode? My favorite episode is actually Blinded by the White Lighter. Hey, Toyact. I like that name, Toyact. I'm gonna follow you. I like your hair too. You're pretty. What's I gonna say? My favorite episode is Blinded by the White Lighter. I love the episode because I just feel like, okay, okay. Here's the thing: is that on paper, I am sure that I probably have like 16 other episodes that are my favorite episodes. Apocalypse Not, Morality Bites, Primrose Empath. No, Primrose Empath is not on that. Power Outage, that 70s episode. Long Live the Queen. I enjoy The Eyes Have It. It's not a favorite, but I enjoy that episode, and I wanted to make that an honorable mention. The episode with the Spider Demon, Spin City, The Power of Three Blondes, of course, because if y'all don't know, I stand the Stillmans. And I'm sure there's another one. Basically anything from season 2. But Blinded by the White Lighter is my favorite episode for so many reasons. Number one, I love Ames. I think Ames was an amazing villain and should have been there for at least a couple of episodes. He shouldn't have been a one and done. I love Nat Nat. I love the tension behind it because I think that was like one of the first times I can think of in the series, even though it was season 3, that was one of the first times that I remember there being like a large scale threat besides Apocalypse Not, of course. Where when I use the word large scale threat, I mean he literally was about to decimate like magic. Like he was about to take out white lighters. He was going to be able to take out witches. Like even though when you get into kind of like the specifics of it, it's like but the fact that he had such a huge plan like that, like baby, he had the elders on their toes to the point where they shut down whatever up there is. They just completely shut it down and said, no ma'am, only these two get the right to orb because we are not finna play with y'all like that. Like that's how much he had them on their toes. And that's why the episode is my favorite. That's why it's my fave. Pre-Witched is another fave. So yeah. Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Why do you think they had Wyatt be a son instead of a daughter? I don't know. I feel like it was shock value. I feel like they did it for shock value. I feel like they did it to be like, oh look, they had a son instead of a daughter. Look how things have changed. I'm getting my iPads, y'all. I'm sorry. That's why I feel like they did it. I don't feel like there was like a narrative, like story-driven plot behind why he was a boy. I feel like it genuinely was just, we want to gag him real quick. But that's me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I've been known to be wrong before. After all, we are the Warrens. Anyway, warlocks kind of disappear as the show progresses. Yes, they do. After like season 4, we barely see any more warlocks. We get that warlock in season 5 that Silas played. What's his name? I almost called him Quentin Tarantino. Y'all remember Silas from Heroes? What was that man's name? What is that man's name? Quentin something. And he played that warlock in season 5 that tried to, unalive Kit. Excuse me. Bakar is a warlock. I feel like there's at least 1 or 2 other ones, but we really didn't see any more warlocks after that. Like, after season 4, warlocks were pretty much done. Barbara should have come back and the sisters find Piper for advice to Vanquish. Why Piper? What the hell was Piper gonna do? No, Lord, let me not even... Because I'm not even trying to go down that route no more again. So I'm going to just hush. I've seen people say her son was changed to a boy because Prue died and their future changed. I I feel like that is part of the reason that they did it, was to be like, look at how things change. But I feel like that's one time when I completely agree with Grams. Like, it would not make sense for that to have changed. I mean, that was literally their thing. That was who they were. Was, a female line of witches. Child, I don't know. Lord, I keep moving this thing. You can tell I'm old, child. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Are you not a fan of Piper? You know what? BTRSSL, because my brain for some reason can't put those letters together to make a sound. But just stupid. It's not that I'm not a fan of Piper. It is that I'm gonna try to be brief about this. I'm not gonna try to linger on it because I don't think it's worth lingering on. And because I've talked about this in other lives, and I just don't want to like beat a dead horse. My issue is not with Piper, because I love Piper as a character. My issue sometimes, and the reason that I react the way I do to her name, is the fans that lift their character up as if they can do absolutely no wrong, and they just insert them because it's like, it's insert character here, why not, and I feel like Piper and Phoebe are the two characters whose fans are the worst about that. They will like argue you down that they are 100% perfect. And so sometimes I do overreact a little bit when I see their name pop up, because it's like, I feel bad not addressing it, but I feel like I don't want to address it because I feel like I'm going to say something wrong. Somebody's going to, think I'm coming for the character. And then someone's going to say the famous line, "Not too much on my girl. Don't come for Piper." And it's like, I get triggered. So I choose not to, because it's a TV show at the end of the day, and I don't need to have that kind of, reaction to it. But so yeah, there's the answer. I hope that answered. If it didn't, I would be more than happy to kind of try to clean that up a little bit. But they're sort of like the raw answer to it. Stan culture being ruining things. It absolutely does. Out of all the sisters, who do you think had the worst power? Worst. Worst power. I don't think any of them were bad. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't think any of them had bad powers. I can't. I cannot like reasonably say that any of them had bad powers. I wouldn't feel right saying that. Or like, who had the worst. I would say the least like real world power would probably be the combustion power. The most useful real world power would either be premonition or I would say either empathy, premonition, or telekinesis would have the most real world like usability. But like the combustion power, probably like levitation, And then maybe like the glamoring power, I feel like in the real world would not be like the most usable, if that makes sense. So, but I don't think there's like a worst. I couldn't answer like a worst power, quote unquote. This person, they had their pros and cons, like all of them. So, Paige mainly because she never learned to call for something without actually saying it out loud. I think the show did that. I think the show did that kind of in the same way that they had Prue just always flinging her arm. I think it became like a signature thing, and they were just like, we're gonna go with this. I was mad when Phoebe stood trial and lost her powers. Yeah, I remember being a kid because I don't know why I keep dating myself, but I was like 12 when that came out, I think. Something like that. 12, 13. And I remember being like, why are we doing this? Like, isn't the whole point of the show supposed to be that they have, like, these particular powers? I don't know. And, like, obviously, it goes deeper than that, but I just remember thinking, like, what was the purpose? Like, what was the point? What are we doing? In the Tempest episode, why do you think Piper didn't realize about time going back since her powers... I'm assuming you were going to say since her powers were time-based. Because her powers weren't time-based. She could manipulate molecules and stuff. So she wasn't actually like a time witch. And plus, I don't think... I hope this makes sense when I say this, but I don't think they had the concept of like a time witch. Like, they obviously had a time demon whose entire ability was like controlling time, but as far as like there being a witch of time, I don't feel like... I feel like that might have been the initial kind of thought behind it, but then they kind of let it go. To me, I don't know. But if I was a demon and heard someone yell dagger, I'm gonna be fully prepared. No, absolutely, I 100% agree. When I said it was a signature, I was just saying like, unfortunately, it became a signature. Oh, trust me, I wish they had stopped because that was the stupidest thing in the world. And they had the perfect setup in season 5 with oh God, what episode am I trying to think of? Sense and Sensibility, when she lost her whatchamacallit, like when she lost her ability to speak. That was a perfect time to advance her power. But they said nope, not on our watch. We've got to strengthen the power of 3 for no reason. What are your thoughts on Leslie and Drake as Phoebe's love interests in season 7? I don't think of them. Leslie was a stunt casting. They just wanted Nick Lachey on there. I mean, which makes sense. He's a very, very good looking man. Drake was a choice. He was given very like tap dancing for Jesus. And I don't know what that means, but I hope y'all are on the same wavelength as me. Like, it was something very like about him. Like if Drake existed in the real world, I genuinely would need to know where he was on January 6th. So, but that's me. I just didn't care for him. I didn't care for that character. I feel like Drake is a good example of like why people don't like the later seasons of the show, because Drake was a joke. Drake was an absolute joke. And I understand what they were trying to do with that character, like to remind Phoebe about love. Ooh, to give her that feeling of joy. Ooh, like I get it. I understand that. But I don't care for it. I don't care for it at all. Let's see. Having all three astral project at the end of season 7 was confusing because that was Prue's power. Please don't get me started on that, because them doing that whole "thank you, Prue," and Prue taught Leo how to do it. You know what I hate out of that whole episode and the whole Prue's power thing? You know what part I hate the most and have hated since it aired in 2005? I hate beyond words when Phoebe is like, Prue was very protective of it. What do you mean she was protective of it? What is that? Like I understand they were trying to hype it up and they were trying to make it more than it seemed, and they were trying to make it like this, oh my God, Prue, you know, and Prue is a huge part of what's happening right now. I hate it when Phoebe said that, and I've never been able to really put my finger on why, but I think it's just the horrible writing and them trying to set it up like it was just this great power gift, whatever. What do you mean Prue was protective of it? It was her power. She wasn't protective of the power. She barely used it. Like, Prue used that power once or twice. And if you try to tell me that that was how she was being protective, was by only using it, Prue didn't fool with that power like that. She used it when she needed it to. Prue would astral project when the moment called for it, and then after that, she's out. She said, girl, anyway, that's why I got telekinesis. If you think I'm gonna worry about some astral projection, girl, okay. She said, okay. Anyway, she said, if you think that's what I'm finna focus on, go back to Buckland's. If Phoebe couldn't be with Cole, I wanted her to be with Jason. Absolutely. Jason should have been in game. How do you think Prue's powers would have advanced if she was still living based on the show? Child, I don't know. The way that they wrote Prue, like she could do anything, who knows? She probably would have been blowing stuff up. Well, she blew that door up, people say. She went in Death Takes a Halliwell, and she went to that door and she did like whoo, and the door like exploded. I was like, oh well, I guess technically, yeah, she did kind of explode it. So, do you think Phoebe should have ended up with Coop? Nope. I don't think the character of Coop should have ever existed. They should have either brought back the Cupid from season 2, or brought back Jason, or just let her be by herself, whichever one. But the character of Coop didn't need to exist. I feel like the episode Piper was hit with the thorn should have been Cole's canon return. Agreed. I could see that. Tell me how you think that should have been man's child. I don't know. Astral projection could have been all the sisters' powers. I mean, quiet as it's kept, it already was in season 7. Might as well have been. Everybody was using it like nobody's business. Phoebe probably would have been better by herself. I agree. I think Prue would have ended up with the form of Paige's power. Which one? Orban? Or telekinetic Orban? Because if it's telekinetic Orban is a form of telekinesis. Oh God, that done tickle me. Shawty wanna thug. Bottles in the club. When they said Prue taught, yeah, all of a sudden they talking about Prue taught Leo how to orb. So you telling me that Leo has known how to not orb, Jesus, that Prue taught Leo how to astral project before she, went on to the lower room, and you telling me that Prudence taught this man how to astral project, and he just had been sitting on that for like 4 years? Don't play with me like that. Don't play with me like that. Yeah, Prue did have some random form of it. At that point. I wish they introduced a coven where the sisters could have depended or would hide them. Yeah, that would have been fun. Like the coven that had the crescent moon, tricrescent moon thing that was like their sister coven. They should have been like their sister witches. You would think not like blood sisters, but you know what I'm saying, like bound by lineage or something. So, y'all, let me tell y'all something. I done got sleeping. I'm tired. I can't even think. I couldn't think before because I was sleepy. I think that's what it was. Cause y'all remember earlier, I didn't know what I was talking about. And I feel like that's kind of like why I was like out of it. I think I'm tired. And yes, I do think that Vivian, the witch with the power of deflection, she deserves some kind of something, a standalone episode or something. We need to see. I needed to see more Vivian. But anyway, well, y'all, my guys and girls and everyone else and people in between, I appreciate y'all for sitting here and listening to me talk about these folks in San Francisco for almost 2 hours at this point, because my God, it's been almost 2 hours. So I just want to take this chance and opportunity to say thank y'all. I appreciate you. Y'all are my people, my tribe. Y'all have brought me more joy than you know. And I'm not saying it to be funny. Like, I know y'all probably think I'm saying it to be funny. I'm going to close on this. But I really enjoy the times where we just sit back and we talk about Charmed and we just laugh and kiki and haha and whatnot. Like, I really enjoy that. So, thank y'all for giving a brother a voice, for giving me a space, giving me opportunity and whatnot. Hopefully I make y'all proud. Hopefully y'all fool with me like that. You know, I hope y'all do. And hopefully, you know, we can make some more magic together in the coming years and months and days and whatever else. And I got a lot planned. Like, I got a good bunch of stuff planned. So y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all later. I'm gonna see y'all next Saturday too, because y'all know I'm trying to go live every Saturday. That's the plan. Every Saturday at 9, we're gonna go live. So, good night, y'all. Have a good night. Sleep well or work, whichever one you're doing. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.